Tommy, check it out.
As I go up the dare side, just as steep, but now heavily articulated with some big rocks.
What's down? There's just coyotes and bears down there. Come on back up. Where you going, dog?
Hi all, today we've got a really cool video because we've got a 2004 Volkswagen Touareg next to our 1995 Nissan Pathfinder. It's first dirt for a 95 Pathfinder, and in this video we're going to find out which is better, but I need a helper. So Andre, why don't you take us around the Pathfinder?
I can't help you.
Are you busy, Andre?
Yes. I got Blaze.
Yeah, Puppy Blaze is along for the shoot. He's going to get in the way. That's his job. I'm sure he'll be good at it.
So I've got two jobs in this video. The first job, the most important, is to tell you that we're going up Tombstone Hill to see which of these two does better. But the more important one is to keep Blazy busy so that you guys can drive up the hill.
Good boy. Yeah, good boy. I cannot believe we got a first-gen Pathfinder in this good condition. It's 95, so it's the last year of the first gen. It's also based on a D21 hardbody Nissan pickup truck, so it shares a lot of the components with it, including the engine. And of course, this is a four-wheel drive with proper 4-low. Let me show you.
I interrupt this video for this week's TFL Bids bargain. We have many cool off-road SUVs and trucks for sale at TFLbids.com. This week, we have a real gem. It's a 1978 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40. It has a clean title. It's a no reserve auction. It has relatively low miles, a manual transmission. It has a few modifications, but a very cool color combination, and it has a winch. So check it out at TFLbids.com using the link below. And don't forget, you can submit your own truck or SUV for sale at TFL Bids. Just use the link right there and actually sell your vehicle to a like-minded enthusiast.
See, it's just the right size, very nice and nimble. Here is my shifter for the 4-wheel drive high and 4-low. This one is equipped with an automatic transmission. And I also have a limited slip differential. This is an XE Pathfinder, so it doesn't have those bigger tires from the factory, but I don't think it will need it. I think it will do pretty well.
The Volkswagen is rolling on a set of 33-inch BFG KO2s, a true all-terrain tire. Andre has a tire from, was it Costco?
No, I believe the previous owners bought it at Walmart, and it's a Goodyear Wrangler, dude. It's a radial tire. What else do you need? It's like a 28.
These are probably the craziest tires I have seen all year because I haven't seen this tread block since 1993. I mean, this is like a vintage tire that apparently you can buy brand new at Walmart. It's insane how retro they are.
Period correct.
Period correct, and all-terrain-y. This is our 2004 Volkswagen Touareg. It's got a 4.2 liter V8, very different than Andre's little pickup truck SUV thing. This is a proper example of German engineering. Independent suspension, air suspension, it's got locking diffs, it's got 300 horsepower. I mean, it's a tour de resistance, piste de resistance, a tour de force. It's a tour de force of technology compared to the old Nissan.
It's a Panzer, Tommy. It's a Panzer.
It's a tank.
All right, Andre. Hey, I'm going to ask you a trivia question.
Yeah.
Why is it called the hard body?
Because of muscles!
Not your body, the Pathfinder.
No. Okay, so here's the story I heard. So, original pickup truck had a double wall strong bed.
Right.
And they called it hard body because it had a strong bed. But I think all these Nissans should be called hard body.
Very good. That's impressive.
I didn't know that actually. Yeah. The reason that this is called a Touareg is because of the nomadic tribe in northern Africa, but no American knows that.
And no American can pronounce it or spell it.
Or
including
spell it.
Me. All right, pop the hood, Andre. Look, he's got a recovery hook, dude. You don't have a recovery hook. Whoa. Hey, a four-wheel drive dog.
You know what? I had a 2001 Pathfinder a few years ago. It was a second gen, obviously, but this is a first gen. Look at this beast. It's a 3-liter V6.
Oh, it's so clean.
It's very clean, and actually on the way up here I tested the air conditioning system and it works. It blows cold.
These were known for being very reliable, but remarkably underpowered. Did you experience that coming up the mountain?
Yes, right now we're at, what, 8,000 feet above sea level?
For sure.
My watch says 8,563.
I'm sorry. So, yes, power was 150 approximately when it was new. I think a few horses left the barn. Yeah, so it's not very fast.
You know what Tommy does, those gadgets and gizmos?
Yes.
You know what the most interesting gadget and gizmo on this is?
What?
Can you see it, Tommy?
Can I see it from where I'm standing?
Yeah, you can see it from where you're standing.
ECCS.
No, there's something really crazy. I've never seen in any other vehicle under the hood here.
The dipstick that's hidden underneath the valve cover for some reason?
No, it's this. Look at this. Isn't this crazy? So you've got this little piece of metal with a plastic grommet around it that seals up the hole when you close it. That the trunk.
The hood?
Yeah, the hood latch or lid or whatever that thing's called goes under. You see that?
The hood hinge has a little rubber seal that makes contact with this hole so water doesn't get in there. I think that was what you're trying to say.
Or mice.
Or mice.
Yeah, or bugs. I've never seen that before. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome, and welcome to the Touareg, which is an amazing off-road vehicle that very few people still know about. The reason it's so amazing is the four-wheel drive system. It's got a proper four-wheel drive system with a low range, that's right. It has a proper transfer case, a locking center diff, and a locking rear diff. Here's how it works on the first of the TFL slip tests. The Volkswagen, unlike the Nissan, has a full-time four-wheel drive system, and it's done in a very expensive and overbuilt way. Go figure. Foot off the brake, onto the throttle. Okay, so what happened there is the rear wheel spun for a little bit. The car figured out what was happening. It locked the center diff. It was a big jolt, and off we went. Pretty cool. In two-wheel drive, too high, like you drive this around every day, when I put this thing into drive, you can see you're gonna get stuck in this position, right? Because the rear wheels are on the rollers, there's no power going to the front end. You know, we're not going anywhere. So let me try putting it into four-wheel drive. And what that's gonna do is lock the front drive shaft to the rear drive shaft. They're both gonna spin at the same speed. And let's see if we get unstuck. Okay, well, small bang there, but obviously, yeah, we got unstuck. But the key with these old school vehicles is you have to put them into 4 high or you're not going anywhere. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into low range, lock the center diff. This also has air suspension. You can raise it up to 13 inches with these tires installed. 13 inches of ground clearance is amazing. But I'm just going to leave it in the normal height actually because it's got plenty. And we'll see how it does. Now, I still have my rear diff unlocked. Now this hill's not going to look like much on camera, but it's about 30 degrees. That's seriously steep, really pushes you back in your seat, and it is nice and articulated. There are two sides of Tombstone. This is Truth, the easier side. It's going to get a little bit off kilter here. Let's see how the independent suspension flexes. Not very well, not a lot of suspension travel, but with the four-wheel drive system, it really does a pretty good job of modulating power and sending where it needs to go. It does have traction control, and even in 2004, it works like an absolute dream. Incredible. So you really don't necessarily need a proper body-on-frame vehicle to have fun out, you know, in the trees. This unibody vehicle is incredible, but that's because it's got a low range and lockers. Alright, now for the diagonal slip test in the Volkswagen Touareg. Now this does have a proper rear locking differential, or you can rely on the brakes and the auto diff system. Which is what I'm going to do here, so just leaving it in high range. Not going to touch any of the controls. Let's see what happens on the diagonal slip test. Foot off the brake, onto the throttle, preferably in drive. Here we go. Oh, okay, there you go. It was immediate. So, locked on up and off we drove. Now, in a modern vehicle, you've got traction control, and that'll brake the spinning wheel and force power to the wheel with traction. These older vehicles are primarily open diffs for the most part. This one does have a limited slip rear diff, although I'm not sure how well that's working some 26 years later. And basically what happens on a typical open diff is that all the power just goes out the spinning wheel and you get stuck. Let's see what happens with the Pathfinder. So foot off the brake. Whoa, interesting. So we definitely did get some limited slip action there. What happened was, and it was a little herky-jerky, but that wheel on the ground in the back actually hooked up. You could feel the limited slip work. That's a pretty good demonstration of what they do. A little bit of slipping from that other wheel, and then something engaged and sent power there. Let's see it one more time. All right, you can see it did even better that time. Now the other thing that the Volkswagen has that Andre just doesn't are luxuries out the wazoo. I have Navigation, I've got heated seats, heated steering wheel, power seats, memory seats, a sunroof, heated rear seats. I mean, it's just incredible the amount of comfort and convenience features. Apparently, these even have hill descent control, believe it or not. If you put them in low range first gear, I guess there's a little computer program that engages, that modulates power and keeps you crawling nice and slow beyond just the normal engine braking. Yeah, these are awesome. Very affordable too. 4 to 5K will get you one. A nice one, maybe 7 or 8. They are expensive to maintain though, very expensive to maintain. All right, should we try the harder side? I think we should give it a whirl. This is going to be more of a low budget production. Andre, my dad, just wanted to come out and have some fun on the trail, so let us know what you think of this. We didn't bring any videographers, which is why it's a little bit garage bandy today, but that's okay. So as I go up the dare side, just as steep, but now heavily articulated with some big rocks that will really throw it off camber. I'm going to go into the high off-road setting. I might as well lock the rear diff just so I can show off a little bit. There's also an extra mode, which is the ultimate suspension height, but that, I mean, it becomes like a rock when you get that high. It becomes really, really too firm. But let's see how it goes. Unfortunately, unlike the Pathfinder, I do not have underbody protection from the factory, but I don't think I'll need it today. I'm gonna take it nice and slow, see how it does. Oh, feeling pretty good. Feeling really good, actually. Thanks for holding Blaze, Andre. Yeah, it's really amazing.
You look very majestic with Blaze. There you go. That's it. Can you yodel?
No, not.
No, that's it. Come on, dude. Yodeling is supposed to carry across like, it's supposed to be like yodelay hee hoo. Well, that was just as bad. All right.
Well, Roman, it's my turn now, right?
Yeah, he laid down the gauntlet, Andre. Time for you to pick it up in that older, but, well, let's call it more basic SUV.
Hey, Tommy, I don't have a horn. Oh, it works sometimes. I think my tires are okay. Right now the engine is turning at around 1500 RPM. So I'm crawling probably as slow as Tommy. And so far I think all the wheels are on the ground. It's not, this is the, of course, the truth side. The dare is more difficult. Hey Tommy, check it out!
Nice work, Andre.
A little slippage? Okay. Oh, it's such a beauty. Simple. Of course, having a manual transmission would be a little bit more fun, but the automatic is just, you know, very easy to drive. I'm enjoying myself. This could be an afternoon, just a little jaunt.
Now I could go ahead and lock the center and the rear diff right off the bat, but I think I'm gonna leave it, make sure we're climbing here. I think I'm just gonna leave it open actually, or in the high range mode. Let's just see what happens. 4 high, diff locks off. I just wanna see what the car does, see if it can figure it out. Some power to that left rear. On the throttle. It did, yeah, once again there was a clunk. Felt like that rear locker engaged and pulled us right off. Well, so far the Pathfinder's been doing really well on the TFL slip test. Let's go to a 3-wheeled slip test. So both front wheels are stuck, the right rear is stuck, only the left rear has traction. Let's see what that means in terms of performance with that limited slip rear diff. Backing onto the rollers. Whoa. It's also a good test of articulation, but into drive. 4-wheel drive high on this one. Car's trying to shift a little bit. Ooh, come on, limited slip. I think we have reached the potential of the LSD in the back. Try rocking it a little bit. I can feel it like trying to grab a little bit, but Ian, you want to give me a push? I don't think it's going to take much to get this thing off, but well, it was a noble effort, Pathfinder, and of course one on the front with traction's not going to help. Alright, well I slid off the rollers on purpose there, but there you have it.
Okay, so the second test is the downhill portion. I'm gonna put the automatic in first gear just to make sure I'm in first. The gearing is not quite enough to hold me on the way down the truth side. I have to apply some brake. But overall, it's pretty easy still. Of course, it doesn't have all the fancy features and hill descent controls and all the stuff that modern SUVs have, or even the upcoming 2022 Pathfinder. Am I gonna touch? Oh, okay. Okay, a little bit of slippage. Yes. Okay. That was a little bit harder, but still, the tires are working good. I was able to take that down.
Tommy, Andre did that as well as our four-wheel, 4-foot drive dog. I mean, it just walked up just like Blazy would. That's pretty amazing. And once again, I think it's just due to weight. I think that Touareg weighs like 2,000 pounds more, and it really shows. Or maybe it's those old school tires. Maybe they had it right back in the day.
Usually on Tombstone Hill, a modern crossover with all-wheel drive and all the fancy traction control systems really struggles. For example, not long ago I took a Subaru Outback off this. That struggled a lot. Kia Sorento, the new one, struggled. So the new systems are really good and efficient, but in general they are not as capable. Ooh, so I don't have a lot of skid plates, so I'm a little concerned.
You've got plenty of skid plates. You got one in the front and one in the fuel tank. What
Really?
else do you need, Andre?
But they're not giant skid plates.
Hey, Andre, the bumper's all rusted anyway, so I can knock it off.
I can
Get a new one.
I can take it off.
Yeah.
I actually cleared it. Woo! Nice.
Andre, I think it's pretty fair to say that the Volkswagen crushed the slip test, but off-road, in some ways, the Nissan did better.
Yeah, I was kind of pleasantly surprised by how well the Pathfinder did, but I think we need to challenge it more next time. Something harder.
Yeah, that's right, and it just goes to show how much weight matters off-road. The Pathfinder's a little itty-bitty tiny car compared to the Volkswagen.
Where's he going? Blazy, where are you going? What's down? It's just coyotes and bears down there. Come on back up. Where are you going, dog?
But yeah, next time we're going to try something much harder and see what the results are.
You know what I think is the lesson here, guys? You know, we've been running a lot of like soft roaders up, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we've got a 25-year-old car and a 15-year-old car,
Yes.
right? And both of them are like miles better than any of the soft roaders. Really, it's that incredible, right? Like any of the Subarus and even the RAV4,
Kia Sorento.
all those vehicles just struggle up this, and these guys were like, "Hey, don't care."
I think what's happening, the SUVs and crossovers became more highway oriented, right? High and family oriented, but they used to be true off-roaders,
They used to be
right?
true, body on frame trucks.
And they became more fuel economy oriented and more safe and better
Yeah.
in the city. But yeah, out here, still old school, limited slips, and low range transfer cases are what you need. Well, as always, this has been Tommy.
And Andre.
Yeah, and then of course you guys need to talk about the fuel economy because I think, especially
I talked about it. It's almost negative.
I have no idea what the fuel economy on this is, but
Yeah,
it's not great.
Almost negative, yeah. And Blazy and my dad.
saying thanks for watching.
And go back to TFLoffroad.com.
For more news, views, and what?
Real world reviews.
No, honest and independent. That's
Independent and honest,
Oh,
guys.
yeah, our new thing.
our
Yes.
dog reviews, whatever. All right, see you guys next time. Ciao.